If they do vote to vacate and you're kicked out of your job, if you were to resign from Congress, you could theoretically give the Democrats the majority in the House of Representatives.
Look, none of that's going to happen. I don't worry about the vacate motion at all. I'm here to do my job. I don't think that's going to happen.
It's absurd. None of that is going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Look, Mike Johnson is probably right to still, even with the update we're about to tell you, think that it's probably not going to happen. But you can't think that there's no chance of it happening. I mean, you saw what happened to the last guy. Mike Johnson, how did you get your job? Do you remember? Do you know what happened to him? So anyway, he is saying it's not going to happen. And look, part of that he has direct control over. Even if the speakership is vacated, that doesn't mean that he's going to resign and hand over control of Congress to the Democrats. That seems like perhaps a bridge too far, although the last guy did indeed do that. I don't think he'd do that because whatever chaos is caused would be caused by the radical anti-Johnson movement, which is of course being led by Marjorie Greene. If she were to vacate the speakership, I think he would want the blame for that chaos to go to her, and it would, unless he were to also resign and literally throw control over the Democrats. Then he seems like the bad guy once again. And I don't think he wants that. I think he wants you to focus on the current bad guys, and there are more than one, because it is not just Marjorie Greene anymore that's pushing for Mike Johnson to lose the speakership. Now Representative Thomas Massie is the second representative to stand up and say, this is something I'm pushing for. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. Weirdly enough, it is now accelerating, even though Donald Trump himself already stood by Mike Johnson in Mar-a-Lago. That was not enough to get Marjorie Greene to back off. It's not enough to stop Thomas Massie from turning against Speaker Johnson. It turns out there is something they will defy Donald Trump on, but it's not like something sensible, something reasonable. It's just on how they want to get rid of Mike Johnson. And he says that he's co-sponsoring the motion to vacate, Thomas Massie is. He should pre-announce his resignation as Boehner did so we can pick a new speaker without ever being without a GOP speaker. I don't think that that is going to happen. I don't think Thomas Massie thinks that it's going to happen, but he really doesn't like Mike Johnson. He says he's cleaning the barn, that's obvious. He had three things to do. He wanted an omnibus that broke all the spending records. He wanted to do FISA without the warrants. Now he wants to do Ukraine. Those are the three things. There are people riding him like a horse here. They don't care when the horse collapses. I do, because it's going to throw our conference into turmoil. Not like vacating the speakership for the second time in 1 year. That wouldn't cause any turmoil at all. But he is right about some of it, I guess. Not that he gives everything to the Democrats, but he has unveiled, Johnson, I'm sort of jumping ahead to fit everything in. He's unveiled the outline for a plan to move foreign aid through the House. So this is three separate bills, one to send assistance to Ukraine, one for Israel, one for Taiwan, and a fourth measure that pertains to other national security priorities. Now it's being worded as aid to Israel. Does that include aid to Gaza? I honestly don't know. I'm a little bit worried to ask and find out, but he is moving forward on those things that most Republicans, I think, agree with, both regular Republicans as well as the electeds. But that's being presented by people like Thomas Massie and Marjorie Greene as being some sort of red line that can never be crossed. And it's being crossed in kind of an interesting way, including they're going to do a loan lease program for Ukraine. So basically, they seize Russian assets. They use that as the financial backing for money that they'll give to Ukraine. And then they'll also impose more sanctions on Iran, maybe as sort of a measure to get the right to get off their back a little bit. I don't think that will be successful, but I think that it's a little bit nuanced. It's almost certainly not going to be in a formulation that we would prefer. But again, they do still have control of the House. So, compromises need to be made. But the question is, will he be around to make those compromises? Or could he be vacated? It could happen at any time. I agree with him. Right now, it looks a little bit absurd. I still don't think it'll happen, but that definitely does not mean that it couldn't. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.